Have you ever felt overwhelmed by all of the work that you and your team are doing, but unsure how to turn it into something meaningful? So imagine this, you're in a crucial meeting with your leadership team and all eyes are on you. But here's the thing, you're confident because you know how to turn raw, chaotic data into clear, actionable insights. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to not only organize your data, but to present it in a way that demonstrates the true business value of your team's efforts. So stick with me, and I hope that you walk away with confidence to turn data into your secret weapon for creating true, meaningful business impact. Welcome to the practical place where project management meets real life. I'm Ryan Holguin, a certified project management professional, and today we're diving into a crucial topic, the 3 types of data that every project manager needs to know. Okay, so today I'm going to be using Smartsheet to walk through our example of the 3 types of data that you need to understand. So I've already created all of my sheets and dashboard that I need for this example that I'm going to be walking you through. So the first type is raw data. Think about this like an unorganized kitchen. You have your ingredients in your kitchen, but it's kind of scattered all over the place. You have it there, it's just a little bit chaotic and scattered. That's what a project sheet's going to be like. So in my example here, I have 5 different product launches. So I'm going to go ahead and just open up all 5 of these. The good thing about raw data is that we all have it. So typically it's going to be unorganized. There's going to be a method to it that you and your team know about. Maybe it's tribal knowledge, or you guys know where to find that information. I'm sure you've worked somewhere or you've worked with a team where they know how things work, but they can't really explain it. It's kind of like that. People operate in the raw data. You don't want to live here, but every project's going to create raw data. And so if I look at my 5 project sheets here, you see each one has the same type of data in it. I'm just kind of going through these quickly, but each one has their own tasks. They have market research tasks, product design tasks, prototype testing, marketing campaign, final review. So they all have these with dates, health columns, and the completion percentage of each task for that product launch. So all the data's there. Now, it's not ideal as a project manager if somebody asks you for an update on a project or status to maybe send them to a sheet, because it's a little bit hard for everybody to look through it. There's going to be a knowledge gap of how to use the tool. There's going to be a time restriction for that person who's asking for it. They don't want to learn how you and your team are using a project sheet. They just want to know. And so it's going to take some work for you to go in there and look through each project and be able to pull that information and put it somewhere and give it to them. So you can see how we all have raw data. You can think about the database or the system that you and your team use, and you have raw data. It's there and it just may not be pretty. So that's the first type of data. And the good thing is that's 1 out of 3. So you all have raw data. We all have it. So the next type of data we're going to look at is aggregated data. So it's taking all the raw data that's out there in the world, in your system, and it's putting it together in an organized way. So typically what that's going to look like, it's going to be a metric sheet or a roll-up sheet or something like that, where you have all your projects dispersed amongst your system. They all come together in a centralized place. So that's aggregate data. And so in my example, I have a project launch metric sheet. So if I open this, I've organized it in a specific way. The way we organize it can be different, but it's going to be the same idea. So this is where things start to get organized. You have your raw data. It's out there dispersed out into the world. You don't really want to point people to your project sheet. It's not very optimal. It's not very effective for managing time well, managing other people's time, and just being overall respectful and organized. And so you want to aggregate your data from being in the raw state to the aggregated state. So I've created my metric sheet here where it pulls all that information in. So I have, as you can see, categories from the total number of tasks that we have, the completed tasks we have, on track, off track, and at risk. In this specific example, these are the numbers that leadership is concerned with. A director of my department is going to be concerned with. And so as a project manager, you need to be thinking about what value is your team actually providing to the company, which is called business value. What business value is your team providing? We all work, we're all busy, but how do we justify the work we're doing in a way that is palatable for leadership? They're thinking about numbers, they're thinking about making a profit, they're thinking about adding value every day. And so as a project manager, it's very important that we're thinking in the same way. We're thinking like a leader. And so this is where understanding this data is really going to help you, and it helped me shift my mindset from churning different projects in and out to let's take a step back and let's look at, do we have a system that allows us to pull data out for leadership at any given moment? Understanding data in this way, I hope, really helps you see that big picture anytime you take on a new project and you're working in a system, or you currently have processes that are a little inefficient and it's really difficult every time. It's that time of the year where everybody's pulling metrics and we need to report it, whether it's the end of the month, quarter, or year. This is really going to help you understand throughout the year that you're already contributing to doing that in a very effective way for your leadership team. As far as aggregate data goes, if we go back to our ingredients or kitchen example, this is like getting a set of ingredients for a recipe for baking a cake. We got it all now together. It's organized. We know what we're working with. Now we just kind of need to put it together in a very presentable way, right? So aggregate data takes you from step one of raw data to step two of organizing that data. And let me just drop all these down here for an example. I'm going to expand all of these. So as you can see, very simple numbers, straightforward numbers. This is just for an example, but my leadership team in this example wants to know, how many total tasks are we working on collectively as a department for each product launch? How many completed tasks does each product launch have? How many on-track tasks do we have? How many off-track tasks do we have? And how many at-risk tasks that we have? These are the types of data points that leaders and directors look for, at least in my experience. And so this is our aggregated data, a metric sheet, a roll-up sheet, something like that. You want to make sure you pull your raw data in and put it into a centralized place that starts to get organized. How you organize it is going to be up to you and your situation. There's no one size fits all necessarily, though I would encourage you maybe use an example like this and try it to see if you can get to that place, just to start working on those muscles and exercising those data muscles, if you will. So this is aggregated data. Now, the third type of data is presented or displayed data. So this is going to be in the form of a dashboard, any type of visual aid that you want to use to present to your leadership team, whatever you use in your company or organization. That's what presented data is. It's going to take it from the raw state of data, which is type 1, and then type 2 is the aggregated data, which is the organized data, the centralized place where all the data lives in an organized way, and then type 3, which is the presented or displayed data for leadership, for your team. So let me go over here. So as you can see, I have it organized, total task, completed task, so forth and so on. You see that that's how that's organized in my metric sheet here. This is my aggregated data. Even though it's organized, I understand it, I still would not point a leader to it. What I do is I turn this into a dashboard. So here's my product launch dashboard. So as you can see, it's a little bit more visually appealing. Going back to the cake example, they don't want to see the messy kitchen with all the ingredients in there and you just point them and say it's in there somewhere. They don't even want to see all the ingredients put together all next to each other and you tell them, well, it's going to make a cake. No, what they want to see is they want to see the finished product. They want to see the cake, because what this is going to do, it's going to help them in a very efficient and effective way look at what your team's doing, and it's going to help them make informed decisions. Understanding these three types of data really is going to help you think like a leader. So there you have it, the three types of data that every project manager needs to know. Let's recap. Type 1 is raw data. This is all the messy ingredients in the kitchen, right? Type 2 is going to be the aggregated data. It's taking the ingredients for a recipe, it's putting it all together on the counter. It's organized, but it's not the final product yet. And then we have type 3, which is presented or displayed data. This is your final product. This is your cake. This is your dashboard that you're going to present to leadership. So I truly believe, as it's helped me, that it'll help you understand any project structure and how to organize a project so that you can extract the most value out of your project. I truly believe that you'll walk away from this thinking like a leader. In your next project, think about the raw data that you guys are working with and think about how you can aggregate that somewhere and how you're going to be able to present that later to leaders whenever they ask, because they are going to ask. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel where you're going to see more practical project management tips and tricks. If there was any specific takeaway that you got from this video, leave it in the comment. I would like to have a conversation about it. If there was anything you felt like I left out or any helpful tips and tricks that you use in your career to understand data, leave it in the comments as well. You can also email me. My email is in the About section of the Practical Place YouTube channel, so you can email me there and I'd be happy to converse that way. But until next time, I'm Ryan Holguin with the Practical Place, where project management meets real life. We will see you in the next video.